Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I can
Hare
start.
Krishna.
Can you hear me?
You're live, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto Ye Patrani Vidinoti Suhit Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 27, verses 10 and 11. Verse 10. The chapter is titled Lord Indra and Mother Surabhi offer prayers. Text 10. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Purushaya Mahatmane Vasudevaya Krishnaya Sattvatam Pataye Namaha. Synonyms. Namah, obeisances. Tubhyam, unto you. Bhagavate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purushaya, the Lord dwelling within the hearts of all. Mahatmane, the Great Soul. Vasudevaya, to Him who dwells everywhere. Krishnaya, Sri Krishna. Sattvatam, of the Yadu dynasty. Pataye, to the Master. Namah, obeisances. Translation. Obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Great Soul, who are all-pervading and who reside in the hearts of all. My obeisances unto you, Krishna, chief of the Yadu dynasty. Text 11. Svachandopatta dehaya vishuddha jnana murtaye sarvasmai sarvabijaya sarvbhutatmane namaha. Synonyms. Swa, of his own devotees. Chanda, according to the desire. Upata, who assumes, dehaya, his transcendental bodies. Vishuddha, perfectly pure. Jnana, knowledge. Murtaye, whose form. Sarvasmi, sarvasmai, to him who is everything. Sarvabijaya, who is the seed of all. Sarvabhuta, of all created beings. Atmane, who is the indwelling soul. Nama, obeisances. Translation. With the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, unto him who assumes transcendental bodies according to the desires of his devotees, unto him whose form is itself pure consciousness, unto him who is everything, who is the seed of everything, who is the soul of all creatures, I offer my obeisances. Purport. We could hardly construe from the first line of this verse that God is somehow impersonal, but assumes a personal material body. It is clearly said here that the Lord assumes different forms according to swachanda, according to his own desire, or according to the desires of his devotees. An impersonal God would hardly reciprocate with the personal desires of its devotee. Nor could an impersonal God itself have desires. Since desire is characteristic of personality, therefore the Lord's manifesting different forms in a personal way, responding to personal desires, indicates that he is eternally a person and manifests his different transcendental bodies as an expression of his own eternal nature. The word Vishuddha Jnana Murtaye is most significant. Murti means the form of the deity, and it is specifically stated here that the Lord's form is itself completely pure consciousness. Consciousness is the primary spiritual element, distinct from any of the material elements, even distinct from the subtle or psychological material elements, mundane mind, intelligence, and false ego, which are simply a psychic covering over pure consciousness. Since the Lord's form is made of pure consciousness, it can hardly be understood as a material body, like the mortal bags of flesh and bones we carry around in this world. In the last two lines of this verse, there is poetic emphasis on the word sarva, everything. The Lord is everything. He is the seed of everything, and He is the soul of every creature. Therefore, let us join with Indra in offering our obeisances to the Lord. End of purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayi Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidamtam Sajivam Advaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in this chapter where Indra, Lord Indra, the king of heaven, realizes his mistake and is now offering his repentance and offering his obeisances and offering his prayers unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So it indicates for the common living entities like us, ordinary people like us, how one should atone for one's mistakes. Mistakes conducted under the influence of mode of passion and ignorance in with great pride in trying to hurt with a feeling of vengeance is something that Krishna never tolerates, particularly if it is directed towards Krishna's devotees. So all the Brajavasis, being the natural devotees of Lord Krishna, had nobody but to turn to Krishna. Because Krishna is the one who, in the first place, took away their fear from demigods, their fear from catastrophe, and guided them towards taking it towards worshipping something that is giving them their livelihood. The cows, the Govardhan Hill, who is non different from himself, as he demonstrated. So here now Indradev is offering his prayers along with Surabhi, the mother cow, coming down along with him from the heavenly planet. Also is his elephant Airavat, who, as we'll see, will bathe Krishna with the celestial waters of Ganges. And so many prayers are being offered by Indra. So once we realize who is our master, who is our Lord, and once we understand how we have to dedicate our life totally in thinking and offering prayers and obeisances unto the Supreme Lord and offering loving devotion service unto Him, then only we can make our life successful. So, ete chamsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Vidyante Yuge Yuge. So, Bhagavatam, the most important verse of Bhagavatam, establishes Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, also in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmas tadatmanam srijamyam paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he comes for the purpose, dual purpose, to protect and give protection to his devotees and to annihilate the demons. And sometimes he is also annihilating the demonic nature of some of the elevated persons. Demigods being situated, supposedly situated in mode of goodness, but King Indra, the king of all demigods, conducted himself in the mode of passion and ignorance. Because there is a minute touch, and that minute touch sometimes becomes difficult to overcome because it is Krishna's illusory potency. Just like with a little touch of, yogurt or tamarind, the milk gets converted into yogurt. Entire milk is spoiled sometimes with a little touch. So one loses one's senses and mind. Mind is the seat of mode of goodness. But one loses by contamination one's mind and conducts things for which when one comes to the senses, realizes that I should not have done this. We are also driven by the illusory energy of the Lord when we are conducting ourselves out of pride and egoism and end up feeling miserable because Krishna will immediately take this pride, cut this pride to pieces for a devotee. A devotee will get the lesson very quickly. So one should always be surrendered. Surrender is the key word here. Mam ekam sharanam braja. One should surrender. So when we are surrendered, then we are constantly in touch with Krishna. And Krishna is always situated in Vishuddha Sattva. And beyond illusion. When we are in touch with Krishna, we are also beyond illusion. So our decision making will be good. So all these activities, sensory, bodily, mental, they are all happening on the illusory material platform. But the consciousness is the seat for Krishna. Our consciousness is our soul, super soul. Our consciousness, that's why we use the word Krishna consciousness. Consciousness is by which we are alive. We feel that we have sensory sensation in our body, which is otherwise made of Panchabhuta, sky, earth, water, fire, air. Bhumi raponalo vayu, kammano buddhirevacha. Ahankar iti yamme bhinna prakriti ashtadha. So these 8 kind of nature is all Krishna's material inner, separated material inner. So, but he's not talking about consciousness or Atma here, because that is the superior energy. So when Prabhupada has asked us, or when the Acharya has asked us to chant the holy name of the Lord, to become Krishna conscious, our seat of real knowledge is our consciousness. And that consciousness has to be purified. And when we are chanting the holy name and hearing the holy name, even though that's a sensory activity, but its effect is on the consciousness. If its effects is on the consciousness, so gradually we are getting rid of the anarthas, we are purifying ourselves. When we are purifying ourselves, then we are more and more and more getting inclined towards Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's devotees. We are offering all respect. So we are becoming, in another word, Krishnaized. Prabhupada says you cannot become God, but you can become godly. So this is what is our goal. We should become godly. When we are conducting ourselves on that pure goodness platform, and all our decisions are going to be correct decisions, Krishna conscious decisions, driven by love for Krishna. Otherwise, we can make decisions out of pride and egoism, and the end result is dukkha. Krishna says the result of, in Bhagavad Gita, the result of mode of passion, action conducted in the mode of passion, results in misery. And action conducted in mode of ignorance results in foolishness, madness. Even though we are on this material platform, we are conducting ourselves in the mixed mode of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, and then the mixture is 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 9 is 81, as Prabhupada says. 81 different possibilities of mixture of different kinds of modes of material nature by which we conduct ourselves. So the methods that have been given, prescribed methods that have been given by our acharyas, by the shastras, are meant to elevate ourselves. So elevate ourselves so that we can at least situate ourselves in the mode of goodness. And when we are situated in the mode of goodness, from there we have to take a jump and situate ourselves in mode of Shuddha Sattva, Vishuddha Sattva, transcend even mode of goodness. And what are the prescriptions given? Number 1 is the chanting of the holy name. Number 2 is the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling. So people who have come from a background where they were conducting themselves under this arrangement, where they were involved into all these activities which are prohibited, then they can realize that how foolish they were. With those who were eating meat, and they realize that you are situated yourself in mode of ignorance. You are always angry, upset, which is a sign of ignorance. So Indra, being the king of demigod, is supposed to situate himself situated in mode of goodness, but the slight tinge of the mode of passion and ignorance that exists even in the heavenly planet sometimes takes away, just like Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, takes away the mind of a person. So a person who is trying to endeavor and trying to control his senses gets carried away, just like a boat is carried away by swift winds. So when mind focuses on something, even though one is situated in mode of goodness, but when it starts to focus on something, then the mind gets carried away by that particular thought. And then one realizes that, oh my God, what did I do? So that's how we should learn our lessons, and we should make amends by begging forgiveness from the person who we have offended, and especially if that person happens to be a Vaishnava, then it is all the more important. Otherwise, one can be forgiven for ordinary offenses to other ordinary living entities, but when one offends the Vaishnava, the devotees of the Supreme Lord, then even though that particular Vaishnava may be able to forgive the offender, but Krishna never forgives. So that we must always keep in mind, that Krishna never forgives the offender of a Vaishnava. So please be very, very careful in criticizing and speaking against, whether they are even a neophyte Vaishnava. One should not criticize, and because Vaishnavas, through their elevation, almost are like non-different from Krishna, godly, as I mentioned. So one must not criticize. Go Brahman Hitaya Cha. They are very dear to Krishna. So once we try and get that kind of consciousness by which ignorance is defeated, then one conducts on the righteous path, and his actions are correct. One's actions are correct. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, Krishna consciousness. And take time to make your decisions if you are at sometimes and crossroads, where to go, what to do. Depend on Krishna. And Krishna will take you across to the right path. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to purify myself, to focus my mind on Krishna and throw some light which is given by Krishna unto Krishna's verses, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also non-different from Krishna. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for joining in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Any questions, comments, please feel free. I'll try to address. Thank you.
निर्विशेष होता है
हाँ प्रभु,
भगवान को निर्विशेष बोल रहा है ना, बोल रहे हैं आप।
हाँ जी, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा ठीक से आपकी बात। आपको कंप्यूटर के पास आके बोलना पड़ेगा।
आजे
नजदीक से आकर बोलो, उधर जाके बोलना है, उधर नजदीक जाके।
प्रभु,
हाँ बोलिए।
परपूर्ण में बोलो भगवान को इस श्लोक की प्रथम पंक्ति से यहाँ पता नहीं लगा जा सकता कि ईश्वर निर्विशेष है, किंतु निजी भौतिक शरीर धारण करता है।
हाँ, जैसे शुरू में ये श्लोक में बताया, ऐसा लगता है कि भगवान जो है तो निराकार है।
निराकार
आपको ये भी बताया कि स्वच्छंद मतलब वो अपने इच्छा से प्रकट होते हैं।
हाँ,
तो अगर वो अपनी इच्छा से प्रकट होते हैं तो फिर वो निराकार कैसे हो सकते हैं? यही बात बताई है परपट में हृदयानंद महाराज ने कि स्वच्छंद मतलब अपनी इच्छा से। इच्छा तो एक व्यक्ति की ही हो सकती है ना। निराकार जो चीज है उसकी तो कोई इच्छा हो ही नहीं सकती।
निराकार तो
निराकार की तो इच्छा होती नहीं है, वो तो इच्छा करता नहीं है।
निराकार तो नहीं ना।
तो इसलिए इसलिए जो है स्वच्छंद, तो भगवान जो है साकार सकारात्मक है, एक व्यक्ति है, ना कि निराकार एनर्जी, निराकार शक्ति है। निराकार भी है, उनकी शक्तियां भी निराकार उसमें काम करती हैं, लेकिन वे एक सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी, पर्सनालिटी मतलब उनका व्यक्तित्व है।
हमने तो पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम है ना, पुरुषोत्तम।
पुरुषोत्तम,
हाँ।
सर्वोत्तम, सब पुरुषों में उत्तम, पुरुषोत्तम, सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी। और कुछ? थैंक यू प्रभु।
ठीक है,
हरे
वो हरे कृष्णा।